Welcome, everybody. Chris Parton here for American Songwriter, and we are backstage at day 2 of the 2025 Pilgrimage Music and Cultural Festival, and we're in for a treat because with me today is Grace Potter. Hi, Grace.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
I changed for you.
You did. I saw you a minute ago.
That set and I just had to change into a leotard. You seem like a leotard guy.
If I could pull it off, I would 100%, but
you can borrow this for later.
You look better in them than I do, I think.
Mick Jagger loved a leotard.
That's true.
Maybe still does. Don't know.
That's true too.
Hi.
So you have been very busy. You just got off the main stage. Amazing set, by the way. And yesterday you were out with Maggie Rose. I've heard that you might not even be done yet, but
correct.
So
but I'm not talking about that because it's a spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Turns out that he was dead the whole time.
How's it been going? Are you enjoying the fest?
I love this festival. I've only played Pilgrimage once before, and it's not just as I remember, it's better.
Really?
Things about, I think the music and culture piece is what really makes me,
Yeah.
I think it's a standout experience. It feels local.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I kept saying Nashville. I know we're in Franklin, but I really feel like this is a summoning of many parts of Tennessee and the culture of Tennessee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not just Nashville, not just Franklin, but it's just a very inclusive place to be.
For sure.
And then the water down there and the sunset, like we're kind of in the perfect moment of the day.
Yeah, we got very lucky, and they did nail it with the culture part of the name, for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder, like doing so many shows in one weekend, I bet it gets to be a blur a little bit, but tell me this, what is one thing you never forget about being on stage?
The crowd's face, like the look on the crowd's face. And when I say the crowd's face, I mean, I don't get any one individual face from the crowd. I'm legally blind, so I get this sort of smear of experience and reaction. And what happens is the crowd becomes its own face. It takes on an energy. Sometimes you get them in the middle of the day and they're tired and they just want to go back to the shady area and get water.
Yeah.
But I happen to hit that moment in the day where maybe they did want to go back to the shade and get water, but they couldn't.
Yeah.
It was like they were stuck in a tractor beam. And I was too, and we were in it together. And the look on everybody's face, including mine, was just like, I can't believe we get to do this.
Right.
I can't believe that this is a job.
I know. And you
know?
do so good about bringing everybody together while you're on the stage, for sure. We've been asking everybody this. What are your essential items for a festival, and especially Pilgrimage? You've been here before.
Yeah.
What can you not get away with not having at Pilgrimage Fest?
So this is, it's a pilgrimage to get here, although I would argue that there's more pilgrimagey places to go than here. This is a luxe entrance. I didn't even have to get in, the traffic was easy getting in.
Yeah.
The drive-in is so beautiful. I do remember realizing that I had forgotten my portable charger. And for me, the portable charger is mostly for my camera. It's not about I gotta call my bro and make sure that he got in. No, once you get on site, the phone is not a phone, it's a camera. But it's so important to be able to capture just those few special moments, especially between the set, the real human interaction and the way that the story of your day unfolds and just the chaos of it all is something that if you don't have a charger, your phone is dying, you're certainly not going to break out your camera and take that moment where your friend lost your boot in the porta potty, but that's the best part.
Those are the things that you need to remember and capture, for sure.
Yes.
That is really good advice. Nobody has said that yet, too.
Portable charger.
Very good, very good. Okay, you talked a little bit about how the vibe here is so special.
Yeah.
I hear that you are working on a festival of your own. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I have had a festival for 12 years now up in Burlington, Vermont called Grand Point North.
Oh, wow, okay.
And it's funny because I created this word. Can you read that? What do you think that says?
Cultivation.
Cultivation. I made up that word because in Vermont, there are many farmers, there's many artists, there's many just self-taught entrepreneurs up there in the woods. And a lot of times in Vermont, in a very rural place like Vermont, it's hard for you to realize that you have a community waiting for you.
Sure.
And that everyone is desperate to gather. So Pilgrimage and Grand Point North are kind of like the hot cousins that sort of want to hang out and smoke weed together, because I feel like the intention behind each one is the same. When people come from out of state, the festival has had everything from new bands that are local student bands that were voted in by the entire community and get brought up, to the War on Drugs, City in Color, Carolina Chocolate Drops, My Morning Jacket, The Flaming Lips, Dr. John, Jackson Browne, and of course Kenny Chesney.
Sure.
Our favorite Tennessee boy, who drops in. I would say he's been there 10 out of the 12 years that I've had the festival.
Right. Wow.
But it's a really important thing for me to share both the national spectacle of a music festival while also making sure that the culture of Vermont is being honored.
Right.
And I really feel that. I think it's the same with songwriting. If it doesn't feel authentic, people are going to smell it from a mile away.
Absolutely.
And they're going to think they're buying a stick of bubble gum instead of getting a beautiful grain salad, you know? I just really feel that connection with this festival as well. So Grand Point North is a nonprofit now. It used to just be a festival.
Right.
Like, let's try and make some money and do a thing. But I realized very quickly, especially after losing money for about 10 years, that I was never in it for the money.
Right, the mission's more important.
The mission is so important, and the culture and the heartbeat of a place like Vermont, which is a very underpopulated. It's gorgeous, but it's like we have 600,000 people.
I know,
We don't always know how to connect, and I'm there to help people cultivate and find their way into whatever spotlights we have available.
That's amazing. Well, everybody check that out for sure if you get a chance.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about the most recent album you released. It's called Medicine.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting because you actually recorded it years ago, right?
Yes, in 2008.
In 2008. But then it ended up on the shelf. And you took it off. And that is just,
I did.
feel like
I took it off the shelf because I couldn't believe that it was unavailable to people after the many, many years that I talked about putting it out.
Yeah.
It felt like it was time. And T-Bone Burnett produced it.
Right.
It was right in the up-and-coming moment of my life when people were like, we got to get Grace with a really iconic producer and just put those two magical things together.
Sure.
And he was really at a high point in his career.
He was just coming off of like Oh Brother. And
Oh
all
Brother
that
Art
stuff.
Thou, Raising Sand with Alison Krauss and Robert Plant. So my project was only shelved because it seemed to age me, I think. Or it felt like the relevance of it would be timeless and like it could just sit on the back burner until it was ready.
And now it
But
is,
there was an urgency from my record company to keep the young vibe alive, you know?
That's interesting. See, what I wonder is, even though it wasn't released, does it still say a lot about where you ended up, you know?
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are finally like closing the loop on all the questions they've had about me as a musician. Because they hear where the song started. Because Medicine was written, every song that, some of which ended up on my next record, Grace Potter and the Nocturnals, the eponymous record. About half of that music was written for the T-Bone record.
Really?
And so it's almost like we're climbing back down the ladder and seeing each rung.
Yeah.
And you're sort of retracing those steps from a very, very different perspective and through the filter of one of the most incredible record producers of all time.
No, he's incredible. Every time I've talked to him, I've had an amazing conversation.
You've talked to him and done interviews with him?
The last time we went on a tangent about how music was invented before language.
Absolutely was,
and
correct.
he's like, because in music, like everybody understands it no matter what you speak.
I think he would use the word primeval a lot. And I was like, I think that primeval is like the most rock and roll word
That's funny.
for biology.
Yeah.
You know, like primeval, man.
For sure.
But I think he had a vision for me that was closer to how I think about songwriting, which is it doesn't matter how people are packaging you from one week to another. I see your spirit. I hear your voice. I see the themes within your dreams and your music and your songwriting and the lyrics. You seem to loop around these same very vibrant and kind of there's echoes of like voodoo and gospel and soul music.
Absolutely.
But there's also this intangible fire that was very rock and roll.
Yeah.
And he brought all of that to the surface, and I was devastated when that record got shelved. Because I really connected with T-Bone on that project, and we worked very hard on those songs, only to have them reimagined many times over. But over my career, I have always dipped back into that memory and that experience of recording with him and Jim Keltner and Mark Ribot and Dennis Crouch. I mean, some of the most incredible musicians.
Lineup. Absolutely.
And I think it's taught me that it's never too late
That's cool.
to share your work.
Yeah.
Don't hide it. Share it.
For sure. It's good advice.
Yeah.
Everybody check that out for sure. Grace, what's coming up next for you? What are you doing after Pilgrimage?
I'm going to be focusing on my festival, on my nonprofit, and on bringing in as many collaborators as possible on my new record.
Okay.
So I'm making a film, which is also the album, which was Mother Road, which came before Medicine.
Yeah.
It's sort of my talisman in my songwriting career. It's a record that is my true north. Not because those 10 songs or 11 songs are like the be-all, end-all identity of me, but it set me in motion to realize that I have always been a filmmaker at heart. Every song I've ever written is basically just a short film.
Really? Okay.
And I'm working with the National Historic Trust to bring about some really amazing kind of Ken Burns on acid documentary stuff about Route 66.
All right.
Which is, all of the storytelling around that record, even when it seems like fiction, is really from my heart, and it speaks to the different journeys I've been on, but through the eye of the American dream.
The primeval.
The primeval. T-Bone, see, this is why I'm like, T-Bone, you got to get in on this thing. Maybe this is our perfect moment to loop back.
I think it might be.
Together.
You should try it.
At like a gas station in like Needles, Arizona.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I brought my microphones. Where's the Bat Cave? Let's go.
That'd be so cool. Grace, thank you so much for hanging out with us a few minutes.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to catch up with you and me. Thanks so much. Grace Potter, everybody.